Good morning, everyone. Miss Brandy stopping in just to spend a few minutes. And today we're going to discuss real quick progress notes, or what is commonly referred to as SOAPE notes. And that's SOAPE, SOAP. And we'll go over what that's an acronym, and it breaks down the different parts in a progress note. And the progress note is generally just all the put together data of a patient encounter, everything that happened, all the information they gathered, and you'll get a better idea of that information as we go through what the acronym stands for. So let's start with S, and also this can be found on page 102 in your book, The Electronic Health Record. All right, so the S stands for subjective, and it says in your book, the subjective information is what the patient tells you. So, for example, if you ask them, how much pain are you in the scale of 1 to 10, and they tell you, I feel like I'm at a 7 or whatever. Different people are going to feel that pain different ways. For one person that might be a 7, for one person it might be a 5. It's subjective. Okay, so it's nothing that you can measure. It's just what the patient feels, basically. Okay, so going on to the O, objective. Objective information is that which can be observed, measured, or collected by the healthcare provider. And this is going to include things like vital signs, blood pressure, temperature, all those things that they can literally take into account. Any pathologies or laboratory work will be objective. That's data that they can see, that is firm, right? So that's objective. A is going to be for assessment. The assessment is the practitioner's summary or summation of the diagnosis or the impression of what is wrong with the patient. So the assessment, the provider is going to take the subjective information and the objective information, and they're going to come up with an assessment. They're going to decide based on all this different information what they feel is wrong with the patient, or what they concluded from all this different data. Okay, and that's your assessment. And for P, your P is the plan. We've got all of our data, our assessment, and now we got to figure out what we're going to do, right? So the plan is just what it sounds like. The steps the provider plans to take to treat the patient. And they give a really good example. The physician may, for example, order an MRI of a lumbar spine to check for a herniated disc, or may opt out to order physical therapy. So the plan is just whatever that provider thinks is the necessary next step for that patient. All right, and then the E on the end of that is going to be evaluation or education. And this is the part where you educate the patient on what you think is wrong, what the plan is, and go over that with them, basically. Okay, so the section of the progress note is not always used by providers, but when the information is documented, it includes advice to patients regarding treatments, advice to patients about diseases, and future issues and responses. So that is the basic breakdown of a progress note, or a SOAP note, as you'll commonly hear it referred to. But it can help you out a lot in your coding to help break down and figure out what diagnosis you need to be coding, or what symptoms you need to be coding, and things like that. So lots of useful, helpful information. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you this morning. So as always, thank you for your time and have an awesome day.